Last week, we discussed the celebration of Harry and Meghan's 8th anniversary, as well as Meghan's beautiful and endearing post about their nuptials, as well as the 8 years of blissful marriage and the beautiful family they've built. But part of that celebration was Meghan using the song Forever Your Girl by Paula Abdul when she posted photos from their wedding and their reception. Well, Paula Abdul has responded, and I knew that you guys would enjoy this story, so let's get started. Thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to revisit Meghan's celebration of her and Harry's 8th marriage anniversary, but we have to talk about the response from Paula Abdul when Meghan used the song Forever Your Girl, made famous by the one and only. Before we get into that, if you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share so that more people can find us. This article is coming to us from People magazine, written by Meredith Kyle, titled Meghan Sussex Gets a Shout Out from Paula Abdul After Using Her Song in Anniversary Post. The Duchess of Sussex told Prince Harry she was forever your girl in her posts celebrating their 8th wedding anniversary. Meghan Sussex got a surprise shout out from Paula Abdul after posting one of her hit songs this week. On May 19th, Meghan shared a series of Instagram posts celebrating her and Prince Harry's 8th wedding anniversary with never-before-seen photos from their nuptials. One collection featured black and white portraits of the couple sharing quiet moments in the cloisters of St. George's Chapel in Windsor, where they exchanged vows. Meghan also added this post to her Instagram story, accompanied by Abdul's 1989 hit, Forever Your Girl. I'm going to go ahead and say, I have no idea why I said accompanied like that, because that is not how you pronounce that word. We're just going to go with it. Just pretend I said accompanied. The following day, Paula Abdul shared the love right back, reposting the Duchess on her own story. Quote, "So sweet to hear Forever Your Girl over these beautiful memories," the singer wrote. "Wishing you both continued love, laughter, and a very happy anniversary. XOP." Meghan's anniversary celebrations with Prince Harry didn't end with her throwback posts. The couple also channeled sweet moments from their history as they marked the milestone with their kids, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana. They blew out candles on a lemon and elderflower cake, the same flavor profile London bakery owner Claire Tack used for their actual wedding cake on the day of their 2018 nuptials. Now, I've actually never tried elderflower flavor in any capacity. If you've tried elderflower cake or lemon and elderflower cake, please let me know how you liked it, and I might give it a try. It sounds really interesting. So y'all let me know, what do you think about that combo? And Prince Harry surprised Meghan with a bronze sculpture of two penguins nestled closely together. Bronze material is the traditional symbol associated with 8th wedding anniversaries as a symbol of the marriage's strength and durability. But it was the penguins that left Meghan speechless. Yet her reaction to this actually brought a tear to my eyes. She was so touched. Like, she was geeking out. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I love giving people gifts that I know is going to just hit them right in the spot, in that soul spot where I know they're going to have a reaction. So I know that was such a satisfying reaction for Harry, but I can only imagine how that felt for Meghan, for him to put so much thought and consideration into the gift. They are both very considerate people. I remember someone saying, a very, very happy marriage is made when two givers give to each other, and I could not agree more. Now, I haven't been married that long, but my husband and I have been together 14 years. Jesus Christ. It still feels like we went on our first date the other day. But we are both very generous people. And in the past, I feel my generosity has somewhat been taken advantage of because I've been pouring into people who aren't necessarily inclined to pour back, and that's just not their nature. And that's where discernment comes in. We'll get back to that one day. But I felt like, oh man, I'm always over giving. I'm always overperforming. And then I met my husband. And then I was like, holy crap. I mean, this could become a competition. He's so considerate. Like, he runs my bubble bath every night. He does like the stuff around the house. So it's always weird when people talk about like household chores and like domestic labor. And like, I had to ask my husband to wash the dishes or blah, blah, blah. And my husband's like, why did you have to ask? Doesn't he live there? Like, I had to ask my husband, like, hey, let people do what they do in their homes. Don't highlight the things that seem weird to you because you don't want to offend people. But yeah, apparently that's not the norm. So like when two givers get together and they give and give and give, it leads to a very happy marriage because everyone feels seen, everyone feels considered, and no one feels like it's their efforts are falling on deaf ears or being exploited or taken advantage of. And I understand that quote more and more the longer I'm married now, because even not the necessarily ornate things or the gifts or the things that kind of wow you, like I love that my husband has been so generous, like buying me a car, and he's paid for my education and things like that before we even got married. Like he just started doing things for me, and I was like, I'm not used to receiving like this. Like, I was used to be like, okay, I appreciate your generosity, but I almost feel bad. Like I feel like we should write this down and I should pay you back for some of this stuff. Like that's just how it is when you're not used to receiving the effort you put in and receiving that back. But the things that have always stuck out, those things I'm appreciative of, those big things, but the things that I'm always like really, really touched by are the small things. Like when he got me my puppy and he heard me one time say, I've always wanted a black schnauzer because I've always had a white schnauzer. I've always wanted a black schnauzer. And he just surprised me one day with a black schnauzer, or some of the pictures that he's had framed of my grandparents and put in my office. And I didn't notice until I came in and was like, did you do this? Like, where'd you even find that picture? I've never even seen that photo. So like small things, but sentimental things are always the things that stick out. I appreciate everything, but it's like the running of my bathwater, or when I had surgery and he took care of me and he called himself Command Central. Y'all, don't marry a man in logistics if you are not prepared to be annoyed whenever they have to be in charge of something, because the way this man treated that clipboard when I was sick, because my doctor gave him a lot of instructions and he put them all on a clipboard, and somebody gave him a red pen, and goodness gracious, do not give a man in logistics a red pen, child. Everything was marked up. He had calendars and he had Command Central. It looked like my living room and my kitchen looked like someone was going to be sent to space. Like it looked like a control room. And he was like, oh, at 7 p.m. you need to take this pill. And then at 7:05 we get to get you in the bath. And then I was like, and then our little home health care nurses were like, girl, he getting on our nerves, but it's sweet. So we just gonna go with it. But I say that to say, we still have a lifetime together. So I'm pretty sure we'll both do things that impress each other over time. But when I heard that quote years and years ago, I thought that makes sense. But the longer I live and the longer we're married, the more I'm like, yeah, it's necessary, because no one feels taken advantage of and everyone feels seen. So when I see people sharing these sentimental moments and these beautiful moments, not even just the big things matter now. The big things matter, the foundational things, they do matter. But it's those sweet sentimental things that really stick out. Like, damn, you did this simply because you care. And you couldn't have done this if you didn't care. There was no way for you to know to do this unless you were truly listening. And those are the things that really stick out. Like, I love the flowers, I love the things, but those framed pictures of my grandparents, or buying my grandmother's favorite perfume to wear to my grandfather's funeral, like things like that. Child, I was crying for days over a little bottle of perfume. I was crying for days. Anyway, I feel like the longer I've been married, the more I love too. And I love seeing other people celebrate their love. I love when people share their posts about how important their partners have been to them and how pivotal their partners have been to them. And I'm just a sucker for a good love story, especially since living my own. I think that has just made me real soft to a good love story. And I think that's also a big component, which y'all know all the reasons, like I love to cover the Sussexes, but one of the main parts of their story that has always attracted me was just their very uncanny start to their relationship. Like, imagine meeting your soulmate on Instagram and you're a whole prince. And imagine meeting your soulmate on Instagram and your soulmate happens to be a whole prince. Like, what? In what world? Here's the thing. If any writer had written that, you'd be like, oh, come on. Out of all the things that they probably would have met around. Like, Meghan was friends with Princess Eugenie before she met Harry. Meghan was in London all the time because of Suits and promoting Suits. And of course, she traveled the world. Meghan has friends all over the world, particularly London, where she would spend weeks in the UK with her friends. There were so many other opportunities where they would have likely crossed paths. I mean, even just the philanthropy alone, they both did a lot of philanthropy in Africa. At some point, we could have assumed they would have crossed paths at some point, especially since so many of their target issues that they focus on, especially social justice issues, happen to overlap. I can assume that at some point they would have met. I feel like when you zoom out, you're like, oh, even if they had met on Instagram, it was kind of destined because they were both operating within a certain radius of each other without ever meeting. They would have met at some point, which is also pretty cool to think about. But the fact that it happened to be Instagram and the fact that what did it was a photo of her with a dog filter on, I just need you to know that destiny is going to happen whether you like it or not, whether you're ready for it or not. What's for you is for you. And their story is one of the main examples of like, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. Because can you imagine how many beautiful women beautiful women Prince Harry has met throughout his lifetime? He's probably met gorgeous women, all kinds of beautiful women all over the world. They're probably impressive, very nice, who had really good jobs and had really great hobbies and were well-spoken and had all these wonderful assets to them. And they were probably meeting him in beautiful ball gowns and heavily made up, like not heavy makeup, but just like beautifully made up with professional makeup on and all kind of shit and heavily manicured photos. And he probably is meeting these kind of people every damn day. But the one he noticed, the one that stopped the conveyor belt, was the one wearing a dog filter in a grainy photo on Instagram with a sepia filter. No, I don't know. I added that last part. I don't know if that a sepia filter. But a dog filter nonetheless from Snapchat. That's what stopped the conveyor belt. What's for you is for you. And when you know, you know. I like to think that I would have noticed my husband in a room full of a million men who matched my quote unquote type. I would have still known it was him because that's who it was supposed to be. And this is kind of one of those stories that reminds me of that. So that just goes to show what's for you is for you. And when you are meant to meet somebody, you will. They didn't meet each other a moment before it was too soon, and they didn't meet each other a moment after it was too late. They met each other at the right time, and hell, in the right way, because what a story. When they told that story on Harry and Meghan, the docuseries, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because for years, people have been saying, oh, they met through mutual friends, or they met here and there. And technically, yeah, sure. But a dog filter? And the picture is so cute. I can see why it stopped the conveyor belt. It's so cute and fun and energetic. And also, I don't want to go on a tangent, but y'all know I love talking about this love story, but I don't want to go on a tangent. But also something he mentioned in Spare as well is through her Instagram, through her photos and videos, he could see her energy and her playful energy and her self-assured confidence and how fun she was. That just goes to show, be yourself. Even when I was younger, I used to say, it doesn't make sense to change yourself according to what you think people like, because the people who are naturally meant for you won't recognize you if you've done that. I used to say that when I was younger. I used to say that all the time, but that was more so regarding like following the in crowd. I always felt like there's no such thing as an in crowd because your crowd is the one for you, whether they're popular or not. So be yourself and the right people will find you. And have you ever tried to fit into spaces that didn't belong to you? And have you ever contorted or changed yourself to fit into those spaces for whatever reason? It's hell, isn't it? That's how I feel about corporate, but that's another conversation. That's more survival. But anyway, I say that to say, be yourself, because the right people for you, whether that's friends, opportunities, jobs, relationships, what have you, they got to be able to recognize you from the crowd. And boy, did these two find each other at the right time in the right way. And what a beautiful story it has created. The couple also received a surprisingly heartfelt gesture from a British Airways flight crew. In another Instagram post, Meghan revealed a handwritten note from the crew she traveled home from Geneva, Switzerland the prior day. The card read, "Dearest Prince Harry and Meghan, wishing you a wonderful wedding anniversary with love, the whole British Airways family." Covered with signatures and personal notes, it was also marked BA269 and dated May 18. First of all, how beautiful is that they remembered? That is so sweet. How considerate. And I like British Airways. I've always liked flying with them. Whenever I fly with British Airways, their staff is always so freaking nice. And also, I just love whenever I get a staff that has accents. I'm just a stickler for a good British accent. What do you want me to do? I just think it's so posh and so fancy. And I try it from time to time, and I'm reminded how beautiful it actually is coming from someone who actually has the accent, because it sounds terrible coming from me. It makes me appreciate it even more. A source close to the Duchess of Sussex told People of the gesture, Meghan's flight crew was so lovely, and on her way back from Geneva, they all came to say happy anniversary and shared their memories of where they were on the day. Oh, I know that was wonderful hearing from them. Oh, I know she loved that. How sweet. They wrote Harry and Meghan a card and gave them a bottle of champagne and British candies for Harry and the kids. Yo, this is so sweet. This is so sweet. It was very special and so appreciated by Meghan, who wanted to publicly thank them. She was truly so touched. You know, Meghan loves sentimental gestures. Y'all remember when that restaurant printed a photo of her, I think it was her and Harry, on her, was it coffee or her cappuccino, in the foam of her cappuccino, and she was touched by that. She cares about the little things, but also that's saying something, because think about how many people, her friends and family, say that she always remembers the little things about them, and she goes out of her way to make sure they feel welcome and seen. And we even saw that on With Love, Meghan, how many little things that go into her planning so that she can make sure people feel seen and loved. Receiving that back, oh, I know that felt wonderful, because she seems to be the person that's always giving that out. Anyway, this is such a beautiful story. I love that Paula Abdul recognized, Paula Abdul was able to hear her song played over the Duchess of Sussex and the Duke of Sussex's wedding and anniversary memories. I know that was like, what is life right now? Okay, royalty is playing my music from 1989. This is over 30 some odd years old. And they're playing my song today. So that had to be a really cool moment, but also to receive and give that love right back. That was very sweet. I love love in all its forms. So y'all let me know your thoughts on this story. And also, have you heard the song Forever Your Girl? I want to play it, but YouTube will beat my ass because it's copywritten. So I can't play it here, but I'm going to play it for y'all on the Patreon version of this, because they let me do what I want to do. But I'll play the song for y'all at the end of the video. But I'm sorry, YouTube, I can't play it for y'all, but I'm sure it's on Tidal and everywhere else you can listen to it. So that's all I have for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.